The blinding white light slowly faded, and Alva blinked until her vision cleared. She gasped. She was no longer standing in the quiet forest clearing she knew so well. Instead, she stood at the edge of a world that looked like it belonged inside an old Christmas storybook. Snow sparkled like tiny diamonds across the ground, and the air shimmered with drifting golden specks that floated gently around her. She turned quickly, expecting to see the old spruce tree behind her, but the trunk was gone. The doorway was gone. The entire clearing had vanished. In its place stood a soft, glowing hill of snow, untouched and silent. A tremor ran through her chest. The key was no longer in her hand. Everything familiar had disappeared. A warm breeze brushed her cheek, carrying with it scents she didn't recognize: gingerbread, peppermint, and something sweet like oranges. Strange, glowing flakes drifted past her, hovering in the air like little lights. When one touched her sleeve, it didn't melt. Instead, it flickered softly, as if greeting her. "This can't be real," she whispered. But the world didn't flicker or fade. It remained steady, warm, and impossibly bright. She took a careful step forward. The snow didn't crunch under her boots. Instead, it made a soft sound, like tiny bells chiming together. She froze, listening. More bell-like notes drifted across the landscape, soft and musical, almost like a distant lullaby. The sky overhead glowed in deep streaks of blue and gold, far brighter than a winter sky should ever be. Alva wrapped her arms around herself. She wasn't cold. The air felt strangely comfortable, but her heart was pounding fast. "Hello," she called out. Her voice echoed softly, fading into the shimmering distance. No one answered. She walked a little farther, unsure where to go. Yet she felt pulled forward, as if an invisible thread tugged her toward something waiting just beyond the snowy rise. She hesitated, then kept walking. A sudden rustling sound behind her made her stop. She turned slowly. A small shadow darted between two glowing snowdrifts. Then a tiny figure popped out and tumbled forward, landing in a heap. It scrambled upright, brushing snow off a tiny red coat trimmed with white fur. A pointed hat flopped over one eye. Two bright eyes blinked up at her. Alva's mouth fell open. The little creature cleared its throat, straightened its hat, and looked her up and down with clear disbelief. "Well," it said in a surprisingly high voice, "you're not supposed to be here yet." Alva stared at the small creature, her mind struggling to make sense of what she was seeing. It wasn't a child, and it wasn't an animal. It looked almost like a tiny person. No, taller than her knee, dressed in a red coat with white fur, trim and a pointed hat, sprinkled with snowflakes. Its boots curled at the tips, and its cheeks were round and rosy. The creature dusted itself off and crossed its arms. "Humans never arrive early," it muttered, shaking its head. "This is going to be complicated." Alva took a careful step back. "What are you?" she asked, voice trembling. The little figure lifted its chin proudly. "I," it said, "am Tipp, Bell-Nisse of the Northern Path, helper of the portals, keeper of lost jingles. And you, I assume, are Alva." Her eyes widened. "How do you know my name?" Tipp blinked at her as if the answer were obvious. "Because the tree told us who would come through. It always does." He pointed a tiny gloved hand at her. "But you shouldn't have entered yet. The portal wasn't ready. And honestly, neither were we." Alva glanced around nervously. "Portal? Is that what the tree was?" "Yes," Tipp said, nodding quickly. "A very old portal. Very old. Older than most of us here. But it only opens for someone chosen by the key of Winterlight." He paused and squinted at her. "Which is you, apparently, even though the timing is terrible." Alva's heart thudded. "I didn't mean to come here. I just—" She stopped, unsure how to explain the strange pull she felt toward the keyhole, or how the key seemed to guide her. "I didn't think it would actually open." Tipp snorted. "Humans never do." A faint jingling sound drifted across the snowy hills. Tipp's ears perked. Tiny, pointed ears Alva hadn't noticed until now. His expression shifted from annoyance to concern. "We need to move," he said. "Standing here is a bad idea. The snow scouts will be looking for the portal's glow." "Snow scouts?" Alva repeated. "Are they dangerous?" Tipp hesitated. "Not dangerous. Exactly. But they report everything. And I don't want to explain why the chosen human arrived early. The council will have my hat for this." He grabbed his drooping hat with both hands, as if imagining it being taken away. Alva swallowed hard. "Okay, but where are we going?" Tipp pointed toward a glowing path of golden footprints, leading between two snowy hills. "Lysheim," he said. "The village of lights. If someone can explain what you're doing here, it's them." Alva looked at the shimmering footprints, then back at the little Nisse. "And what if I don't want to go?" Tipp tilted his head. "You came through the portal, didn't you?" His voice softened. "That means you're already part of this, whether you believe in magic or not." Alva hesitated, breath trembling in the warm, glowing air. "Come on," Tipp said gently, "before the scouts catch the trail." He hurried ahead on quick little steps. After a moment, Alva followed. Alva followed Tipp along the glowing path, her boots creating soft, musical notes with every step. The snow didn't behave like normal snow. Each footprint chimed gently as if the ground itself were singing. Tipp hurried ahead, his tiny boots pattering quickly. "Slow down," Alva called. "I can't," Tipp said, glancing over his shoulder. "If the scouts find us, the council will know you arrived early. And if the council knows, well, goodbye to my hat." They walked between glittering hills until the landscape suddenly opened into a bright valley. Alva stopped, breath catching in her throat. A village stretched out before them. Small houses made of glowing wood and crystal-lined narrow paths. Lanterns floated above the rooftops, drifting like tiny stars. Figures no taller than Tipp moved between the buildings, carrying packages, sweeping sparkling dust, hanging lights shaped like falling snowflakes. "What is this place?" Alva whispered. Tipp beamed proudly. "Lysheim, the village of lights." Alva stared, taking in every glowing detail. But she quickly noticed something unsettling. Not all the houses shone brightly. Some flickered weakly, their lights barely holding on. Tipp's smile faded when he saw her expression. "Yes, the lights are dying. The magic that keeps this realm alive is weakening." Alva swallowed. "And you think I'm part of this?" "I don't know," Tipp admitted. "But portals don't open for humans without a reason." Alva looked down at her hands. "I'm not magical." "Magic doesn't choose believers," Tipp said softly. "It chooses the ones who need it." Before she could respond, a deep chime echoed through the valley. Tipp's eyes widened. The council bells. They're calling everyone. He tugged on her sleeve urgently. Come on! If they see you alone, they'll panic. Humans aren't supposed to be here yet. Alva followed him into the glowing village, her heart pounding as warm lights flickered around her. She didn't know what waited ahead, but something told her she was walking straight toward it.